Hey, I haven't made a video in a long time and I wanted to today. This evening, just kind of based on something that is bothering me and that I noticed last night when I was out with a good friend of mine. I don't know what it's like for gay guys or gay girls out in the kind of like the dating world, or like trying to find a partner or anything like that. But I do kind of know what it's like as a straight guy. I don't know what it is, but to me, there's this growing sense of like kind of mistrust around the sexes, around like guys and girls, and how we interact with one another. I don't think this was always the case. I don't think that this was the case 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. I think this is a relatively new thing. I mean, women have always had to kind of watch their backs around like kind of creepy guys, or guys who don't know how to kind of interact with girls or anything like that. That's not a new thing, but like en masse, there's like a growing, like, I think, maybe I'm paranoid, maybe this is my issue, but I think there's like this growing like disconnect between like guys and girls. I think that if this goes for a guy or a girl, like if you've had a bad experience with mostly men or mostly women, like, you will learn something from that. You will like pick up on we learn everything about interactions, like every day. Interactions that you have with people on the street, with your parents, with your brothers or your sisters. Like, you will learn something from that. Like, subconsciously you'll take away a message. If that message is being negative, as in for a girl, for instance, if she's always getting like hurt or like treated like shit, like she doesn't matter, that's what she's going to attribute men as. She's going to attribute men as being hurtful. They don't give a shit. They're only out to use her, etc. And as a man, if you've had bad experiences with women throughout your life, I think that like we will also learn things about women, and we will attribute certain things to women. If you're a guy who is going out and, I don't know, you're trying to like make friends, you're trying to get laid, you're trying to get a relationship going, you could be the nicest guy in the world. You could be the sweetest guy in the world, or the kindest guy in the world, but you'll still come across plenty of girls out there, and you might be the kindest guy in the world. I'm not saying I am. I'm not the kindest guy in the world. Far from it. You'll come across girls who are so, like, they've attributed so much negative shit because of all the experiences she's had in her life. They'll attribute that negative shit towards men. As soon as she hears the word men or guys or sex or relationships, like, that might bring up some bad negative shit for her. Same goes with guys. If guys, because it's generally guys who do a lot of the like approaching girls, and they kind of start conversations with girls a lot of the time. There are a few girls out there who are brave enough and they're cool enough to kind of start conversations on their own. But in my experience, unless you're extremely attractive, it's not going to happen. You're going to have to go out there and start the majority of the conversations yourself. Not saying it's a bad thing, but if you're a guy and you go out there and you have the balls to start conversations with girls, and you're always getting, I don't know, shot down, you're getting hurt. You're not getting anywhere. There's no like connection there. Like you're going to you're going to build it up in your head as to attribute girls as being hurtful or girls as being nasty. And like, where does that get us? Like, it almost like encourages this disconnection between like the sexes. I was out with a friend of mine last night, very good friend, and we weren't doing anything wrong. Like, I think he got quite a bit of shit for being too intense last night. Now I wouldn't be as intense as this person. I'm a little bit more laid back. But yeah, he's an intense guy, but he's also really, really kind, and really sweet and really, really good fun. Yet these girls were like giving him a lot of like aggressive, negative vibes. What's he supposed to think? At the end of the night, he goes home. He like reflects on these like messages that he's getting, and then he will just associate women with being negative, women with being hurtful, women with being not interested. That's a real killer for like your self-esteem, your confidence, if you want to kind of go out there and like find a partner or to like make new friends. If you're associating a lot of negative shit with like the sexes, I think it always helps to see someone as an individual. Just because they are a guy or a girl doesn't mean that they have the same qualities that you have given them in your head because of your own negative experiences. I hate this like growing like mistrust or like disconnect that we have between the sexes now. It's weird. We seem like so afraid to like trust. We seem like so afraid to have like a random hookup or to have like a random sexual encounter or like start a relationship. We seem terrified to do these things because we're so afraid of like getting hurt, you know, and it's like totally blown out of proportion in our minds. What I see is like we don't treat each other like nicely. We're like pretty unkind to each other. And like, I don't really blame women for not kind of liking men sometimes. I don't blame men for not liking women sometimes. We all learn something about men and women and relationships and love and sex from our interactions and our encounters with the opposite sex. We're always learning something, and a lot of the time I think it's really bad and it's really negative, and it's not helpful. I just wish like kind of the world was a bit more like patient or like kind of understanding rather than like jumping to conclusions. As in, if a guy gets shot down, he might call the girl like a cunt or a whore, and she may not like the guy. If he calls her a cunt or a whore or a slut, what's she gonna think about men then? What's she gonna associate with men? That men can't handle rejection, and that's just one example out of many. It's all kind of about confidence and your own confidence within yourself. It's really hard to like. I think it's really hard to have that in this day and age. When you keep associating like negative things with the opposite sex. Anyway, it's starting to rain. Fuck it. I'm just gonna end this. I haven't made a video in a long time. I haven't given up on making videos at all. But yeah, it kind of annoyed me last night. So yeah, if you have one interaction on a night out and it's like it's negative, there's an objectively there's an objectively negative outcome, you may not want to pursue anything further. Like, that might destroy your night, be it like if you're a guy or a girl. It's not really our fault for like attributing certain things to certain people, like attributing certain things to the opposite sex. Hateful, distrustful, nasty, mean. I don't see many, like, I ask a lot of women, like, you know, what do you think about men? Like, how do you interact with men? What are guys like around here? And like, I never hear a good, like, report. I never hear like a good review. Same goes with guys. I ask a lot of guys, like, on nights out and stuff, what are the girls like around here? Are the girls nice? Do you like them? What way do they come across? And I get the same, like, oh, they're cunts, they're bitches, they're sluts. It's just, there's such a fucking, like, unnatural divide. I don't know who started it. I don't exactly know what's perpetuating it, but there is this divide, and it kind of sucks, because it drives this wedge between us when it doesn't kind of need to be, because everyone is really, really different. And if you just take some time to get to fucking know someone, you'll find that they're kind of not like a lot of the things that you've kind of built them up to be in your head. Anyway, fuck it. I'm tapping out. Goodbye.